Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the People's Podcast. You know me, I'm Timo. You know Dango. We got a very special guest with us today. We have Johnny Omega. We're bringing you a special episode today. We got a little bit of a crossover from WWE and MMA. We're going to get into talk on both of those subjects. But before we get to that, let's give a shout out to My Fantasy Sports Talk. They are always supporting us. They got some great guests as well, so follow them. Check the description if you want to follow our social media. We got @_ SmackTalk is our Twitter. Same thing for our Instagram. And you're watching us on Facebook right now. So
don't forget, they're watching us on Twitter too, man.
Twitter too. We're on Periscope. Give us a like. Give us some hearts. Do what you got to do.
So just to throw this out there, everybody who's watching, this is going to be a crossover show from from UFC all the way to WWE. We brought in a professional himself. He's got a lot to talk about today. And please, we are all over the comments today. So shoot a follow, shoot a comment. We'll be replying all day. I'll be kicking this off, Timo.
I don't know. How do you want to start this off? We got a lot.
I took notes, yo. So I brought up this idea to the table, and I was like, man, there's a lot of things happening in WWE with signings of UFC superstars. Obviously, one of the bigger ones that just came out, Ronda Rousey, signing over. She's killing it right now. Obviously, Brock Lesnar, who can kind of cross over whenever he wants. So it made me start thinking, okay, why am I seeing more UFC superstars, more UFC athletes, prominent UFC athletes trying to jump ship? Because there was a recent video of Cain Velasquez literally trying out. He was in the WWE Performance Center. So back 10, 15 years ago, WWE was more focused on, picking up football players. Big, huge football guys coming into the league, coming into the WWE. So now they're kind of crossing that over. We just had an interview with High Flyer BG, and, granted, he did play football professionally, but I don't think that's one of the bigger reasons. I think his what's the word I'm looking for? It's like personality wise, his social media impact. I mean, I think all these things take an effect and going away from just like pure strength. You got to have the talent, obviously. So when I see, I did some quick researches here. I got Bobby Lashley, who looks like a football player, but like we can go back, Shayna Baszler, and a lot of people don't know this, but Shinsuke Nakamura actually he was an MMA fighter as well.
He was in Pride.
So for these kind of superstars to make their way over to the WWE, I think it speaks volumes of how the WWE is conducting itself. I think I try to separate like pros and cons here. I went with, okay, what's a pro? If you are WWE, Rousey, Brock Lesnar.
I think those guys from the UFC that come over to the WWE from that route is big personalities like Brock Lesnar, big personalities like Ronda Rousey, people who already have a name.
Maybe connect this real quick, what you said about 10 years ago and the difference between 10 years ago and the football players that they were bringing up. None of the guys that are doing this UFC and wrestling crossover were champions. Right. Cain Velasquez that you mentioned, he has won a title over the last 10 years. Ronda Rousey. Even when they were already champions in the WWE, with the only one exception of Bobby Lashley. Right. But if you look at Bobby Lashley and you look at his MMA career too, neither one of them, it didn't like pan out, and it's probably because he never won a world title in wrestling. But you look at everybody else with CM Punk, with everybody, and even with the UFC champion like Shamrock came over to UFC. Yeah. He was UFC champion.
He was one of the first ones.
He was the very first one.
He's probably the first crossover.
Go to the untalented ones like Dan Severn. Dan Severn is also a UFC champion who came over. And it's all about the money. When you're done, you accomplish what you want in one respective sport, you're just going to go to the other and just make the money because that's where the money is. Everybody, like these guys grind, like Bobby Lashley grinded in wrestling, went to MMA, won some big money.
Right.
Yeah. Big money. And I can go on and on with like pretty much all those guys that did that. All the guys that won titles in one respective sport onto the other one. And that's the only big difference. I just want to throw it in. The 10-year span of why wrestling was picking up all these football players and all these guys that were in Ohio Valley and all these guys that were in Florida. Right. All those guys were all wrestling the Randy Ortons and the third string boxer.
Yeah.
I just thought about that.
The way I see it is if you're a UFC fighter, you've been getting your face punched in, you've been getting your head knocked around, you've been getting your body physically beat up for almost your whole life. You can come into the WWE where it's not an easy sport, but you don't get punched in the face for real every day, and you can still make some money if you have that personality. And on the other side, if you're going from the WWE to the UFC, maybe you join the WWE, it's not what you thought it was. You just don't have the personality, or they're not giving you what you want. Bobby Lashley, they're not giving me a push. I'm gonna go beat some people up, make some more money.
Yep.
One fight, $60,000. That's my whole contract for a whole year. I can do that 3 times and outperform myself. A TNA contract.
Yep.
So like they both have reasons to cross over, but now we're really starting to see more prominent UFC names come to the WWE.
I understand why why wrestlers would jump to MMA. Like it's a quick payout, like
Right.
it's quick money, and like the one main thing is, and we always hear it with every wrestler, whether they're retired or on the road now, is that they hate the road schedule.
Oh yeah.
And that's one thing MMA does not have. You are literally out 3 days of the week, like a weekend. Like you know what I mean, every like 3-4 months. If you're one of those grinding fighters, one of those journeymen, you're fighting about 4 times a year, 3 times a year, and you're gone for what 3-4 like out of your
Right.
away from your family and friends. Right. You're away from them for about 3 days, if that.
That's a really good point.
That's nothing. That's nothing. That's why like if you did that CM Punk schedule, and now you're over here looking at UFC where you're fighting once a year. And terrible fighters, terrible for you don't even need to train that hard for it.
Right.
And you're gonna get
show money based on your name.
I don't know if you're gonna get as much as you would in WWE, but you're probably gonna get more than you deserve for 3 days of work. And some media obligations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Whether you're good or not, people are gonna come to watch you because they know who you are, or maybe they hate you and they can't wait to see you get beat up. So you're gonna get viewers either way.
And they are, don't get me wrong, they are working hard.
Yeah,
They are in the gym. They're doing their 2 days and 3 days. But like to some people, that's fun. Like you know what I mean? Like I love going to the gym. I love kickboxing, whether I'm getting choked out by Timmy or getting punched in the face by Brandon Rose. Like you know what I mean? I love going to the gym. I love doing that. It doesn't. I don't look at it as hard work. I have a lot of fun with it. I'm very relaxed there. But do I want to wrestle at PAL 5 days a week?
You want to travel
just to wrestle at the Garden on Monday? Like, no, that sounds terrible.
Right.
If it sounds great, but if I'm gonna make more money this way, with less work,
less travel, you're not on the road. You're not away from your friends, family.
I'll take that.
And that's one of the things that I wrote down is traveling. Like, if you are coming from the MMA world to the WWE, you need to be like a top. You have to have a top name, because if you go down the list here, most of you are like Shayna Baszler. She had a pretty good name in the MMA world. She came down. She's driving a Ford Taurus, going to a different event every 3 days. So, I mean, is that a mindset that they need to have? I mean, it's real at that point.
I think this goes back to both sports. If you look back 10 years ago, like just listen to the Rock story of him living out of his car, going like mall to mall, fighting for just enough money to survive. That was the UFC world too, because they're showing you 500. You're showing up for $500 to fight in somebody's basement or like these small venues before the UFC. Even when the UFC wasn't that big, I mean they didn't have these grand venues where they could seat 50,000.
And you had to win a tournament to win some money.
Right. You had to actually win, and if you didn't win, you were gonna get $100 and get sent home. Not even enough to pay your medical bills.
You were badly hurt if you got through one
of
those
yeah.
tournaments. You know what I mean? You never came out 100%. Nobody ever did, unless maybe Crow Cop a couple times. Other than that, like nobody really came out them tournaments 100%. And we're talking about stuff like some of the best fighters. I don't care if you're Rampage, Vanderlei, even Dan Henderson. Like nobody comes out 100%.
Right. Like the attitude between both have changed because it's not this rundown, dirty, grind your face into the ground business for either one anymore.
Which is huge. I mean, just going through, even if you're just looking at like an everyday kind of lifestyle for every one of these players, I just had a conversation with somebody about the CM Punk move when he went from WWE, because he wasn't getting treated all that well. Obviously, moved on to the UFC, lost 2 fights. Where's his end of the road? Is he not in the UFC?
I love Punk, and I love what we're on right now, right?
Right.
But I think in like 10, 15 years, we're gonna look back at this almost like the Bret Hart situation, in not obviously in a screw job way, but in how they're treating him way, and how we look at it. Like, you know what I mean? Like when I was a kid and I was growing up, I always I couldn't believe Vince. You know what I mean? And I always looked at Bret like, oh man, like you got fucked, you got screwed, all that shit. And not looking back at it now, like no, Bret. That was on him. He didn't want to do the job. He didn't want to put Sean over. He didn't want to lose his belt. He didn't want to lose it in Montreal. We all know the story. And it's almost the same thing with CM Punk. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? That's my like, and not with the whole screw job, but how they're treating him. Like, you know what I'm trying to. And it's just like I'm gonna. I know I'm gonna look back at this in 10. Like I love Punk, but in like 10 years, I'm gonna look back at it like, why were you so stubborn? You lost out on so much money. You lost out on so many fans. Not the ones that. He's not necessarily losing fans, but fans he could have gotten all these years. Like, you know, I didn't watch wrestling when Punk was wrestling. I just recently came back when Brock made his appearance. You know what I mean? And oh my God, I was missing out. Like, you know what I mean? I wasn't there for the summer of Punk. Like I really wasn't. But like how badly I got into it. Like I'm one of those guys that when they have those interviews and they talk about like what that pipe bomb did to bring people back into wrestling and bring the attention in. I'm one of those guys. Like I used to love wrestling. Did not care for it when they were bringing up this OVW with the Spirit Squad and all that. I did not watch that generation of wrestling. But
Don't blame me.
After that pipe bomb promo, and then Brock coming in, and obviously they did a good job with the back-to-back WrestleManias with The Rock and John Cena. Like they did a great job. I remember like watching the WrestleMania at my house, and I like with everybody with Undertaker. Nobody really not so much cared for it. When it first started, by the end of the night, everybody was like, "Man, like, oh man, I miss that nostalgic wrestling." Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like that's what CM Punk definitely did, and that's what I mean. Like, I feel like that put him up there, just like like that Bret Hart pointing out the WCW in the sky. But I feel like in 15 years from now, I'm gonna look at CM Punk like, man, I wish you wouldn't have been so stubborn. Wish you would have just came back when you should have. Like, because he's gonna be like Bret and come back right here. Hugging Triple H and the freaking.
It's just
awkward.
Yeah, like, I see him. It's like,
you know what I mean? And obviously, I look back at it, like, man, Bret, like you lost out on some good matches. Like, you know what I mean? Not only that, but like good positioning. Like, you didn't have to wrestle Bret. Like, you know what I mean? Could have easily been alright. You could have looked out for your brother and your brother and your family, like the rest of those guys. Like, he kind of tainted his legacy like that. And I feel like like Punk's doing that right now as we speak. He's messing up his wrestling legacy. Like.
Making that switch over to the UFC, getting those 2 losses, I just felt like the the wrestling world wanted CM Punk to fail so bad, and I felt for the guy. Like oh, we got a tweet here. Can barely hear you guys. All right, let's see if we can move the mic a little bit. But so when Punk came, when he suffered those 2 losses, I honestly felt for him. Just because the wrestling world was not all in on it. They were good. This should have happened to you. Corey Graves threw tweets out there like, I was a brother to you, messed up, you lost out on so much. The man tried something else. He tried something new. Didn't really succeed, but he tried it. So we all fault him for it. But
real quick, I think we all can agree though that Mickey Gall was just on another level. You know what I mean? Like knowing what we know now, like that fight shouldn't have happened. Punk was way out of his freaking league. Like he was done in the water. Like
I agree.
Before that bell even rang, even the way he came out, he was still treating it like wrestling. He was still he I don't think the whole MMA vibe really hit him yet. And that doesn't have like it's weird because Duke Rufus and all of his training partners, everybody down like he's got some.
Killers.
A grade, like quality fighters over there helping them out. None of the performances that he put up showed it. Like it makes no sense. Any one of us should be a better fighter. Like you know what I mean, coming from that. Like like I said again, Punk is tainted. Is I can't get over that. How much he is messing up his legacy right now by losing, like being embarrassed, and then they're rubbing it in his face too.
I mean, for me, I respect Punk because he
I
stood up for what he believed in. He said, "I'm gonna go fight MMA," and not many people have the actual balls to go and jump in the UFC. You're fighting the world's best in the UFC, any cage,
UFC, any fight,
And like he's always been like a proponent of the Gracies in jiu-jitsu. Like he always used to come out with a gi, or he used to have their sigil on him. And you're like, oh, he just kind of does it as a hobby. And it's like, you know what, I'm gonna do it for real. And just the balls and like, he can say he did it.
Yep. I agree.
He put his not his ego, but he just put his pride on the table. Like, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna get my ass kicked probably. I don't think he expected to
Your
win.
words are making me want to get in there right now.
I
just feel like I gotta go look for a fight.
I don't think he expected to win. I think he expected to do better. He let people down. He let himself down. He let his trainers down. But he knows it. But he still went out there and he fought. He didn't quit. Like, he didn't go out there and like run away. He took his beating like a man. He took his beating, and I respect him for that. Not many people can actually do that. That takes a lot of balls, a lot of put your pride to the side. Here we go.
We got a cut line that really derailed CM Punk's chances. If Mike Jackson would have been CM Punk's first fight,
Yeah.
we'd probably be talking a different story right now.
We probably have a rematch with if it went Mickey Gall second, we'd probably have a rematch for that Mickey Gall. I think.
I don't know. Go ahead.
I think he didn't show up. Everybody knew it. But if he would have, I think his second fight, he had more success.
Yeah,
it's clear than the first one. So I think if he would have showed, because Dana would have had something to fall back on, like, oh, look at his first fight. It could have been. So maybe a rematch would have been there.
Dana gives chances. You know what I mean? I promise you right now, what he saw from Punk on them 2 fights, he's not getting another chance.
No, he's not going to get another chance.
And on the Joe Rogan podcast, I think Joe Rogan even said, he's like, this guy doesn't deserve it anymore.
He doesn't deserve another chance based on there's young people who put their whole life to that sport that deserve the chance. But I don't consider it a complete failure because we tuned in. People tuned in to watch it. Viewership wise, it was a success. Fighting wise, it was a complete mess. I mean,
we tuned in because it was on UFC. I don't think I'll watch the third fight. If he has
another fight, I wouldn't now.
Bellator, obviously if he's headlining it, there's no way anybody's gonna probably watch it.
No.
You know what I mean? But maybe in Bellator on a card with.
I don't think anywhere. I mean, I think he's made his point. It's his hobby. He loves it. He can keep doing it forever. Jiu-jitsu, MMA, he loves it.
I guess the big question is,
where's he go next?
Does he go to All In? All In September 1st?
I seen the tweets. I seen some rumors come through. I personally would like to have him back in the wrestling side of things. I think All In needs to have it, but I think Dave Meltzer said it himself that there was no way CM Punk was going back to wrestling. I think he's going to lay low, maybe for the next opportunity.
I mean, he could go to New Japan. He could go. There's a lot of places he could go. He could go to New Japan, the Indies. I don't think Vince would say no to him coming back after everything that's been happening.
I think he's so much of a draw now.
Maybe not anytime soon. Maybe not for a couple of years. But he has a place if he ever decides to come back. He may not like what they have planned for him if he does come back, but
I don't see a lot of guys going to New Japan. I really feel like a big raid is coming. Obviously, we know about Matt Riddle coming to WWE.
Yep.
He'll be in there. And I want to say he's the biggest name, but for an American, he's a big name in New Japan. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I see a lot more. Obviously, Kenny Omega's coming to WWE, but people like it or not. I don't care what all those interviews and everything says. He's coming in. I would give it at least 2 years tops, 2 summers tops. He'll be wrestling.
I think it would be a shame if we never saw some of the matchups like Kenny Omega, Seth Rollins, Kenny Omega versus AJ Styles. Those kind of matchups, the world needs to see. I don't care how it happens. Maybe they can do the mix. Chris Jericho went over to New Japan. It was no problem. He came back to WWE.
What's instant 5-star match right now? Kenny Omega,
AJ Styles.
Wow,
that was quick.
That was very quick.
I just think AJ Styles. He's been proven
in the
to be
WWE world.
Yeah, in the WWE world would be AJ Styles.
What's CM Punk's feud? What's his comeback? Who does he go against?
Probably. I mean,
he'll have to go against some type of legend, I think,
or authority figure.
So I'm thinking he comes back.
Triple H.
Triple H is the man because it's the McMahon.
Then Superman John Cena steps up and says he quit on us, and he gives the whole "I'm better than you. I've stuck with the WWE no matter what," and you you could play that angle with John Cena.
It's almost like that whole pipe bomb and his documentary is about to bite him in the ass. Everything he said, because now it's before Triple H needed he needed Punk for WrestleMania. He needed Punk for that feud and to get him over and for people to get that
Absolutely
right. Now Punk, you need Triple H.
Yeah.
There is nobody like really like I would like to see him feuding with that would really make me like, you know what I mean?
I feel you. Like if you weren't watching wrestling and you saw this coming back, you'd tune in.
I think they really
it's
do.
got too much fire.
I think they really do not like each other in real life either.
I
They've
agree.
they butt heads a lot.
And Jai,
Well,
call you guys for a second.
Call him a doofus.
I just want to throw out.
That almost hurts more than calling him
Yeah.
something worse.
I just want to throw out to
Call
the
me
crowd.
a dweeb, bro.
If you guys are watching this, Johnny Omega threw out the question. CM Punk comes back. Who do you have him feuding with in this WWE era? So, I mean, it could be authority figure, it could be, AJ Styles. Throw it in the comments. We'll get back to you if you can. We're literally all over these comments.
Yeah,
So,
if you guys want to chime in, you got a thought about anything WWE or UFC/MMA related, drop it in this chat. We'll read it out loud.
Yep.
We'll get to your questions. We'll bounce our ideas off your ideas. We're always trying to interact with you guys.
And on Twitter, we're here. We're following. Phone's charging right now. I apologize, but I'm scouring the comments as well. So let's get it going, man.
I'm scouring comments. I see that Brian's in here. Brian, your show's been taken over, buddy. It's over. NWO style. It's a wrap.
Where's the spray paint?
It's now NWO talk.
Oh
That's
my
SmackTalk.
God.
The show's
So-
been taken over.
I
You
think
too, Matt.
CM Punk is an example of a WWE fighter gone UFC who's a failure. Now, the biggest success story from WWE to UFC, Brock Lesnar.
Yes. Let's talk Brock Lesnar for
I'm
a second
sure
here.
a lot of people have opinions on Brock Lesnar.
He beats DC. You heard it here.
Just like that.
Oh.
He beats DC.
Is that like a storyline thing? Like it will beat DC because it's a storyline in the UFC? Daniel Cormier is old.
Oh, you might actually see Daniel Cormier ringside soon. Like, you know what
I would like that.
You might see it, and I don't know if it's gonna be so much to promote the fight. It might be.
Could be ringside at SummerSlam. Why not?
Distraction.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The one thing I don't want to see the WWE storyline brought into the UFC. I don't want to see it. I'm okay with UFC storyline. Give it to me in WWE. That's what WWE is for. But when I see UFC, when I see people step in the cage, no real story except I want to kick your ass. You want to kick my ass.
Let's get paid.
I want that belt. I got the belt.
I think that's the thing. I think all the storylines and all the bullshit that really not really mattered. Can I swear on this?
Yeah.
Dude, when the door shuts, I think people really underestimate. It was almost like I'm jumping from my thing to me, but Brock Lesnar obviously was not anywhere in King Velasquez's league.
No.
Got him right. But just to know that he beat Frank Mir. Like, for the record, I have Frank Mir as one of Jack Swagger's potential opponents.
Ooh.
Just to throw that out there. I don't think he should. I don't think Jack should take that. Like, or Jake.
No.
We'll call him Jack for wrestling purposes.
Yeah.
I don't think he should take that fight.
No.
It's very dangerous for him, but it would be big for his career. But he should fight Frank down the line. You know what I mean? Just not out. But
I agree.
Brock Lesnar is unbelievable.
It really
That
is.
Not like some easy fucking test. Brock Lesnar, like I thought about this the other day. This man had legends, goats, whatever you want to call them, greats in like 3 to 4 different sports fear him. Like for a second, even Brett Favre himself was like, "This man is gonna be chasing me to fuck down."
He's gonna kill you.
You know what I mean? He's had Randy Couture like crumbling, like you know, what I mean, like man, this guy's gonna fucking chase me down. He's had whatever you could pick your wrestling, heavyweight.
Yeah, he just
He's gonna chase me down.
he legit gave Braun Strowman a cold crack to the head mid-match. Like, slow it down.
Just legit.
I'm the alpha male in here.
Exactly.
You need to
Exactly.
chill
And
out
then
while we do this
obviously-
match.
Check this out.
national collegiate wrestlers, like you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
He's made guys in like 4 to 5 different sports just tremble.
He's
And
no
that
good.
has got to be one of the most baddest things to fucking say.
Yeah.
Like to say like, man, I make people quake in all sorts of sports. Probably the only person that can do that is Mr. Cherry LeBron himself. You know what I mean? Other than that, like who, like that has got to be like as a guy who, like an alpha male type of kind of guy.
It
Like,
really
you know
is.
what I mean, you want to be like, man, I've had legends in so many. Like, man, I would love to say that.
Yeah.
The thing,
And then,
Go ahead.
the thing about Brock Lesnar is he is like a true athlete. People just see him as like big muscle. No, the man is fast. He's scary.
Yeah.
They
He's
think,
like a
oh, he's
pure-
just on steroids. Man, go back watch his collegiate wrestling. Maybe he was on steroids before they tested, but the dude is technically gifted. He's physically gifted, technically gifted, and he's a smart man. You can't just hop into MMA like and not know what you're doing.
Right.
Like, just
You're
I'm
not-
gonna swing.
You're not
for
running
the
up on
fences.
Frank Mir. I don't care
I think
who you are. and get
one
away
thing
with it.
people need to understand about steroids and like all that stuff is that when it comes to like champions like John Jones and Brock Lesnar and obviously other sports too, these athletes are getting the newest supplements, the newest vitamins, newest products before anybody. They're getting these tested to them and they don't know that it's anything illegal in it.
Right.
Because they're trusting that
It becomes illegal after they've seen so many people use it. Like, okay, that he's been on it. We need to put this on a ban list because it's giving people an unfair advantage. But before that, it's not banned. It's just, this is a new supplement.
And people don't understand. They look at it like it's just some like crack deal off the freaking street, like they're buying steroids.
Right,
That's not how it
this
goes
is
down.
A PhD
Like,
doctor
it's a
coming up
guy
to you.
that gave him something before too.
Right.
You gotta remember, he didn't just go up to this guy and be like, all right, I'm gonna give you whatever you're giving me, I'm gonna ingest it into my
Right.
body.
This is
Like, no, this is somebody who's given him medicine before, who's given him like supplements
A
before.
real
Somebody
relationship.
who's trusted, exactly.
a
Somebody
real relationship between the two.
But
We do have a comment here. Scotty Mata, Lopes, who you think would win if McGregor versus Khabib happens?
McGregor versus Khabib, just talking. McGregor versus Khabib does happen. We will learn that on Friday. It's going to be either after the early weigh-ins or before the live weigh-ins or after the live weigh-ins, obviously. But it will happen Friday, and that's when it's going to get announced. It'll probably be in November, October.
whenever they go back to Vegas.
Well, you got-
No.
Yeah, I think it happens in Vegas.
It happens in NYC.
Really?
It's going to happen in New York.
Where it started.
They're gonna allow Conor McGregor back in the
For the
sport.
record, Scotty, for the record, right? I have Conor winning this. Okay, people do not like. I love Khabib, and I think Khabib is a mauler and hands down the greatest, one of the best grapplers you can ever watch. If you ever want to teach somebody grappling, you've shown Khabib Nurmagomedov, the motherfucking eagle. Like, guys, all right. But the reason I just see not another although happening, but just Khabib keeps his hands so
It just
low.
takes one.
So low, and Conor has
That
a
left.
shotgun of a left.
That
hand.
left.
I think people like seeing obviously Khabib's fought like 3 times I think since he's knocked out Aldo. So people forget like how hard Conor is. Like they've just seen him box and then they seen his loss to Nate Diaz and then obviously his slugfest with Diaz.
Yeah.
They forget like how strong he is. Don't let that 5-round fight with Diaz fool you. The guy hits really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Diaz has been used to being hit. Like he's been hit by
He's
guys.
unhuman.
Okay.
He's not going
That
down.
man is-
He dropped Diaz
Khabib-
like 4 times
yeah,
too.
I love
Khabib
that man.
is
People can't say
does
that.
not get used to getting hit like Diaz so much. Like I don't want to say the guy has a weak chin, but there's
Hasn't been
footage,
tested.
But it's been tested. Michael Johnson has dropped Khabib. This is a known fact. If anybody doesn't know, and he hit him with a left too. You know what I mean? And I don't want to. I'm not basing that off. Like you know what I mean? Like that's what I don't think because Michael Johnson dropped him. That's what's gonna happen. But if Kevin Lee full mounts Tony Ferguson, I'm pretty sure Khabib full mounts Ferguson. You know what I mean? Which I'm trying to say is Michael Johnson drops Khabib, Conor McGregor drops Khabib. You know what I mean?
Could be a quick fight.
Scotty
You
Mata.
think about
That's
Michael
on you.
Johnson and Conor have almost fought the same exact guys. Michael Johnson and Dustin Poirier went at it, and we all know Conor plastered
Jesus.
Dustin Poirier's nose on the other side of his face. Michael Johnson didn't. And that's just my personal opinion. Like, man, I love Michael Johnson. He's a great fighter, a great hitter. Like, but it's that simple. Like, like
Conor's leagues above anybody else right now.
way above it. And
When it
not only that, we have not only we've not seen the best of Conor, we haven't even seen Conor peak yet. Like
Right.
and I know like the buzz is huge and he's such a superstar and everybody knows who Conor is and we've seen so much out of him. He has not peaked yet. I'm letting you know right now. There's more to fucking come out of this guy. He's not just gonna, you know what I mean, beat Khabib. He's gonna beat Khabib. He's gonna run through everybody. Just again, like we're gonna look at Daniel Cormier. Like he was never a double champion the way Conor McGregor was.
Right.
Conor
You know what I
McGregor
mean?
could go for a triple champion if he
So I'm
wanted
gonna-
to.
Could.
Take that comment, Scotty. Throw it back at you. Hit us what you think wants. What do you want to happen? You hear it. You heard it. The fight should happen. Who you picking?
Who do you think wins?
Throw it in the comments. But we kind of. I didn't want. I appreciate the comments. I felt like we rolled off a little bit because I wanted to get a nice segue.
Back to Brock Lesnar.
So with Brock Lesnar,
Money on Conor.
Yep, big time. Bringing it back to Brock Lesnar, we do have him. From what I hear, from what you brought up to my attention was he's bringing a lot of baggage when it comes to part-time wrestling. So
Yeah,
you came up with
Yeah, I
me.
did. I did come up with a little, somewhat of a storyline for a wrestler who I think the WWE has not signed him yet because Brock Lesnar is ruining it for guys like him. Guys like Rey Mysterio, like who obviously we see him being signed to All In. He does his thing. He was at the greatest Royal Rumble before that. Ray's great. He's perfect for the company right now for multiple reasons. But Ray wants a part-time job, which he deserved. Like, you know what I mean? He earns that.
He's put in his time.
Yeah. So now, but like what I was trying to pitch out there is a storyline where it's not like Brock, because there's storylines out there that they could be using right now where the wrestler's not there every single Monday or Tuesday, and it could still like live on the show.
Right.
You know, and what I was thinking,
because people have gotten sick of Brock Lesnar not being there, and I think one of the main reasons it doesn't work is because Brock Lesnar is the Universal Champion. I think that's one of the main reasons it doesn't work. And
that's it. You can't give Ray a belt, not just yet anyway.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So what I was saying is especially with the way social media is and the way the world is right now, is Ray does a perfect shoot promo on Twitter about just the Mexican lucha libre or whatever way you want to call it out.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
How it's being pushed on Twitter, like, you know what I mean, like pretty much calling out all the Mexicans and all the Latinos out there on Twitter. Who responds but Cien Almas. But not just on Twitter though. He responds at Raw after a squash match that he keeps on getting. He squashes, and not just a regular Joe Schmo, somebody like No Way Jose, like, you know what I mean, like a decent NXT call up, squashes him, and and it's got to be real. It can't be WWE written. It's got to be from the hip, like, you know what I mean.
Taking it personal.
Chemistry going.
Takes a shot at Rey Mysterio. You know what I mean. Rey Mysterio. You know what I mean. Pretty much doesn't respond right away. That's how you bring him back in.
Absolutely.
Just like that.
I like
now,
that idea.
He doesn't respond right away. And what he does now is, at that time, though there's no response, Cien Almas builds his way into some title contention. Whether it's the IC, US, or even the world title, whatever, is open right now that makes sense for Cien. He goes into title contention. Now, not so much as a contender, but as like a via contender. Like, he battles Baron Corbin for the number one shot. And who messes up his shot?
I love it.
Who messes up a shot? Rey Mysterio. You know what I
like it.
Obviously, Ray has to lose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ray has to put him over. He can't beat Cien Almas. But Ray gets what he wants. He gets his part-time gig. WWE gets what they want. They get their storyline because that can milk like for a very long time.
Absolutely. I was just gonna say that.
That's a good way.
Pull that all the way for a year. If you have like one come out 1 week, this Rey Mysterio comes out the second week, and you can build it. Oh my God, can you build it? Cien Almas coming out with the Rey Mysterio mask, just us, like,
and not so much, and not so much. Like you can just build it and all that stuff, but they get what they want, and not just get what they want, but they get more than what they want. Because Ray will not only come back, get his part-time job, get his money. WWE doesn't just get their storyline and get their viewers, but both of you get your 5-star match. The fans win. You know what I mean? Because we all know Almas can put a 5-star match. I'm
100%.
pretty sure Ray can put a 5-star with Almas anyway. Like, I mean, he can do it with him.
Yeah.
So like they get what they want, both ways with the company, with thing. It gets put over. You know what I mean? He wins. Ray wins. The fan wins. The company wins. Everybody wins. Everybody. That type of storyline needs to be brought to WWE somehow.
I agree.
Like, you know what I mean? And it sucks. Again, back to the original. Sucks that guys like Brock Lesnar, who obviously, all right, so like
they're
Monday,
taking advantage of that part time.
Monday was awesome though. Like, you know what I mean? Like the way they built that and they sold that, like he, like they made Brock to be this guy who never shows up, but when he shows up, there's so much energy. You know what I mean?
Hate by the crowd.
It's always a feeling. There's so much feeling in the crowd.
That's what you want. You want to
and WWE did a good job on Monday of like, showing that, like keeping him in the bag, like grabbing onto Paul Heyman, like all that stuff. So, like that was cool and stuff like that, but in the long scheme of things, Brock is ruining it for guys like, Alberto Del Rio, Rey Mysterio. I just heard today Wade Barrett is like talking to coming back. Yeah, like,
I hope not.
I love Wade.
I don't like
he's
him.
a freak of an athlete.
Yeah, but he's getting grays here right now. Like, if we want,
I feel bad because we have certain superstars that are literally just sitting on the shelf, and then we have. It just feels like WWE. I mean, don't take it for granted, but WWE has so much talent surrounding that SmackDown Live crew, the Raw crew, but we just see the same amount of this. We just get the same type of matches. Nothing real, nothing from the heart. does that sound corny? Like, there's no like emotion when it comes to certain match. Like, I see matches and I'm like, oh, all right. Last night, SmackDown Live, I had
There's
Charlotte.
a problem when not just UFC but MMA in general has better storylines than wrestling.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like what? And it's not being written. This is natural. This
Exactly.
Some of
Cody
it.
Gambrat and
Some of it is.
Cody and TJ.
Well, I mean, Cody.
That's not written.
But
That's from the hip, and it's so much fire in there. It's like uncontainable.
The John Jones, the DCs, the Luke Rockholds, and Michael Bisping.
But then you
that's
have
real, man.
Chael Sonnen hamming it up.
And
I mean, he's
Colby.
great.
Of course, you got your Colby.
They're great.
But here's the thing.
But they're putting on a show. They're
right.
trying to sell a match.
What I want to tell you is
style.
they don't have a creative team like WWE
Right, they don't.
has. So here's what you do: you take the WWE athlete, you use them for their social media presence, and then you add a little bit of like just some mentorship on what you can say. It is PG-13, so you can't say this. That's fine and all, but if it's natural, it comes up so much better.
I don't think just the fact that it's natural. I think no one's writing it, and the UFC fighters get to be kind of themselves, you know?
Yeah.
Not just being forced into a character.
Oh, like classic attitude.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Going back to Conor McGregor versus Shane Donovan Alves, how many rounds do you think that fight goes?
2 and he's done.
2 and he's done.
He didn't even have to think about that. I was bang.
I did,
2.
like it's just like usually when I like predict my fights, and that's another thing I'm gonna be doing, soon. We'll get to that. How I like predict fights, and I don't want to say I get lucky, like you know what I mean, because I visualize the fights and
You
like,
can see how it would
exactly
play out.
Anybody that watches a guy fight, almost like wrestling, you know his moves, you know what he's gonna do, you know when he's gonna leap, you know when he's gonna sell and all that noise. Like and I don't want to say MMA is the same exact thing, but it's almost the same concept. Like if you watch a wrestle 10 matches, you know what he's gonna freaking do.
Right.
Like you know what I mean, and it's almost the same exact way. Now guys evolve, so like again, I don't want to like stick to act like it's the same concept. It's not the same concept, but their styles, like what they practice every day is what's gonna come out when they're tired. You know what I mean? When they're beat in the 4th, 5th round, what they practice every day in the gym, like because that's what I usually look for, like in a fight, is those late rounds, and that's what comes out. Like you know what I mean? And other than that, it's almost like Mortal Kombat. It's the luck of the draw and how it goes out and all that noise. But yeah.
All right, thanks, Shane. All right, just going back to the part-timer. I love that idea. Rey Mysterio. Give him what he wants. Give us what we want. I think Brock Lesnar gets a little bit of a bad rap for being a part-timer. Not because, all right, this is Brock Lesnar. He should be a part-timer. He should be, but he should not have the belt. Because Brock Lesnar is a spectacle. When Brock Lesnar shows, it's about to be something special.
Right.
Yeah.
But if he's going to show up once every 3 months, he cannot have the belts. That's my only problem with the
Might as
part-timer.
well give the belt to the Undertaker.
Right.
He's not going to show up, and when he shows up, it's this big like.
It's a spectacle.
It's
get all these.
thing. And yeah, Brock is cool. Like, I would pay to watch Brock suplex somebody 15 times.
Yeah, I'm all for it, but I just can't.
Don't
have it
ruin
being
our
that.
week-to-week viewing of where's the belt.
Because
no story for the belt.
What bothers me the most is you have 2 different world heavyweight type championship belts every week. One has literally been thrown to the dirt, no competition for it, and the other has been every week. He's around, he's there. I tweeted out last night when SmackDown Live was going, and I was actually more excited that AJ Styles had a day off because I was just so happy for him because I just thought, man, you have a champion that I feel like if you're a champion, you shouldn't wrestle every week. I feel like you should it should be special.
You should be like the Miz and have a B team. Like,
right.
Just be outside and do your thing. Almost like that's what Punk should probably do. And not only that, that's probably another thing that they could do with Ray. That's a part, like another again, like because obviously you're gonna need to do something with him after this, this like rivalry. You can start like another LWO. Like you know what I mean? You can even get Jose. Oh no way, Jose in there. Sin Cara.
You got a bunch of luchadors there.
You get them in there, and you can get a pretty good. Because I love a faction that does have a girl in it too, and obviously Cien Almas already comes with that. Like you know what I mean? And
One part that I heard a rumor.
real quick is and onto that is Ray obviously coaching his stable, and he's on the side. He doesn't show up every week, you know what I mean? But he's still, the feeling of him is still there because he has the stable.
It's the right way to do it part time.
You know what I mean? Yeah,
I agree.
So there you go. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's a good part-time role.
There's a rumor back a little while ago where it was Rey Mysterio being on the 205 Live crew. I don't want that.
No.
I don't think he deserves to be something like that. I think he's too talented. I'm not saying the 205 Live crew is not talented. Believe me, if you ever somehow ended up watching the 205 Live hour, it's a great hour. It's a lot of good matches, a lot of good chemistry in the ring, but it just doesn't fit the mold of what we're getting.
What we've seen Rey Mysterio do. We've seen him. He's already been with the heavyweights. He's already,
Right, he was the champ.
Oh, but you could give the 205 if you did the whole stable thing. Again, you could give the 205 Live back to Kalisto and give the whole Rey Mysterio feel at 205 Live. But obviously, you would need Kalisto to appear with him,
Right.
On like the SmackDowns or the Raws and all that stuff.
So I have to just let you know. We can't have you spilling all this. Once when the cameras are closed, then we can go through this, because I feel like you're giving WWE so much ammo, and if you don't use this, man, you're just losing out right now. We're literally building you the road on how to win.
Well, the stereotype
I'll do a deal with WWE. I was actually just thinking about this. I'll do a deal with WWE. They could take my creative ideas. If I could take one from them, and that would be, and if they gave it to me, I would bulk up 50 pounds, get on some crazy P90X fucking diet, and I would revive the Portuguese Man of War gimmick.
Done and done.
So you want my creative, you give me a piece of your creative, and boom, we all win. Everybody wins again. I'll be the Portuguese Man of War. I'll be wrestling at PAL, and everybody wins. You don't even have to give me any outfits. My mom can make those. It'll be very, very simple. So if I see that Rey Mysterio storyline,
we're gonna tag you guys.
I'm coming to Stanford.
You are gonna get so many emails.
Boom. There's no way you could, I would be proud to see it.
That was a good.
You'd be like, oh man, they did use that. That was a good idea.
I would be like, oh, okay, so we have an unwritten agreement. I'll be the Portuguese Man of War in a month.
Wink, 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 wink.
The part right here. Oh. I'm running up and down Columbia Street in my gimmick. It won't be as good as the World Cup or the Euro, but people.
It's every 2 years. We'll figure a way for you to get out there.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, you'll have another special guest. It wouldn't be just that BG Flyer.
Yo, we have a legit wrestler. We wouldn't have Johnny Omega on the podcast. We'd have Portuguese Man of War.
Yeah.
Portuguese Omega, right there. Portuguese Omega and BG calling you out now, bro.
There it is. We have
right here, Columbia Street.
So I feel like we've touched on, the WWE superstars who have started to kind of go to the UFC, but let's switch it around a little bit. I think we're just starting to see the beginning of the influx of UFC fighters coming over to the other side. Biggest name, Ronda Rousey. We got Shayna. Shinsuke, kind of. Pride.
I would say like the bigger.
Was Pride fixed some matches?
They were. They were.
Maybe, but Shinsuke. He was an MMA fighter, and now he's in the WWE. But we have big names like Ronda Rousey who said, you know what, my UFC career is done. I'm tired of being punched in the face. I'm tired of getting knocked out. I've been the best that I can be. So let's go. I have a passion for WWE. So I'm going to go do it.
To touch back up on what he said, yes, Pride was fixed.
Some of it. Most of it.
Triads were in it. Most of it. Most of it. The good majority of them. The most of it messes with the landscape. Like, you know what I mean? So if certain people didn't lose or certain people didn't win, you never know.
You'll never know.
But them crow cop kicks were real.
Those are real. Yeah. I don't think they were any ever set up for crow cop. I literally
just for
it's the truth.
They didn't have to set it up. He's gonna kill you.
I've had real nightmares of Marco Crow Cop. I watched this 10-minute compilation. I smoked a blunt, and I watched a 10-minute video of Crow Cop just rearranging people's heads with head kicks. And And I went to bed sweating, and I had a fucking nightmare of Marco Krokop kicking people's heads off, and they were coming off, not like in the videos I was seeing.
Yeah.
They were actually coming off of people's shoulders. Just imagine somebody walking up and down Columbia Street, kicking people's heads off their shoulders. Now, obviously, it's not possible, but if somebody could do it,
It'd be him.
it'd be Krokop.
He'd be the guy to do it.
So like, you know, and that would be me. Like as like, you know, in my room, like, man, that's not possible. Like, well,
I didn't see this YouTube clip once.
so no, the triads didn't fix Krokop's fights, but I believe Fedor's fights were fixed.
Probably a good majority. I mean, even
You
though
never know.
I think Fedor's fights were fixed to this day. I don't think it has to do with pride or, you know what I'm trying to say, or triads. I think if you look at how Fedor lost to freaking Fabricio Verdun,
the triangle.
and it was a good triangle and stuff like that, but you know what I mean? Like,
See, I think like anybody can get caught. Like just boom, you're caught in a triangle, and if it's tight,
it's tight.
it's
yeah.
tight.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
Fedor's still the greatest of all time in heavyweights, in my personal opinion. But like I said, I think if anybody's out there, kids, and wants to know, BJ Penn, just like Anderson Silva,
greatest of all time,
is the
epic.
greatest of all time.
GOAT.
And people
Right,
like, real quick, just to speak on BJ, because a lot of people ask me too, like why I think that, because his record's not that great, and it's not so much about his record and what he's done, but like what he represents, and that's everything that's wrong with the UFC right now, which is people backing out of fights, people not showing up on weight. People, you know what I mean? People being
running.
scared to go,
Yeah.
like not fighting in their natural division. Like, you know what I mean? People running from other fights. BJ Penn never ran from freaking
Just scrap.
George St. Pierre. Like,
Just
BJ
scrap.
Penn didn't run from Nick Diaz. Like, you know what I mean? It was fights like that. Like, and that's why real fighters, not just fans, real fighters and diehard fans and like real MMA fans consider BJ Penn the greatest fighter of all time.
Greatest fighter.
Yes,
Yes.
the greatest
Just fight.
fighter. Yes,
Yeah.
not the greatest like martial artist. Like, you know what I mean? But what he represents, like, you know what I mean, is just up here. Like, it's like, oh, Johnny, who would you want to be like? You know, John Jones or BJ? It's like BJ. Like, you know what I mean? As weird as that sounds, like, you know, BJ, like, because
I could talk all day about BJ Penn.
Yeah, of course. So I just want to throw that out there. People that were wondering on what the GOAT should be considered, and you know, since we were on the Fedor and Malenko topic, a lot of people consider him the greatest fighter of all time, or Anderson, the steroid user.
That's another thing. BJ Penn. Look at that little
No,
pudgy
yeah,
belly.
clean.
Never.
Clean,
Never.
as a whistle. He's just like he's on the Max Holloway Diaz brothers diet. You know what I'm saying?
But all right, let's bring it back to the UFC fighters that are coming to WWE. Ronda Rousey is probably the biggest name, the biggest star from MMA. She's the most popular women fighter ever. And she came to WWE. She loves WWE. She's always had a passion for it. We've talked about it on the podcast. Roddy Piper, you know,
I mean, who doesn't?
gave her the jacket, or the child let him use the jacket for her entrance and everything.
Yeah.
But you see, these people are taking that work ethic, the work ethic into the WWE. If you do it like Ronda Rousey did, I feel like any UFC fighter could be successful.
Yeah, and she's bringing people along with her.
She is.
Don't let it, you know what I mean, fool you away. You guys just see a big name like that. DC will be in WWE ropes one day. Cain Velasquez definitely will probably be in ropes one day. I can't really go. It sucks because I know Demetrius would love to do it, and you know what I mean, because that's the way you got to be just looking at the heavyweights and light heavyweights.
Right.
Because nobody else is really gonna. You know
There's a
what I mean?
look they're looking for. There's a certain look for the guys they look for. You need to be
And-
big, strong, or fast.
Like, I mean, it's not really. Yeah, and they have to have the look. So guys like Ngannou could come after he's all set, and I wouldn't be surprised if Randy Couture, even the Chuck Liddell, surprise Chuck, like he doesn't go. Like, well,
Make like a one-off appearance.
but that's what it's got to be. Like, I'm naming guys that can only do WrestleMania type appearances. None of these guys can do, you know,
Right.
unless it's Cain Velasquez. None of these guys
That
can do
daily
road
grind.
shows. Like,
Yeah.
no way. Cain can because he's 1,000% a freak of nature. Like, there's very few humans like Cain Velasquez, and I think he's another one of those underappreciated guys in MMA right now. I think people don't really respect him the way they should and fear him the way he should, because he's hands down, and I truly believe this, one of the top 10 baddest motherfuckers walking around the planet. Like, Like there's 10 guys you don't want to fuck with, and he's one of them. Like Kane will freaking murder you. Like, he will. Like he could.
He could.
You know, all respect to Navy SEALs and all those guys. Those guys are badasses too. But you know what I'm trying to say.
Cain Velasquez would be a scary man if you made him angry.
Yeah.
If you cross Cain Velasquez,
See you later. I gotta go.
You
this
messed
way.
up.
You go that way.
But on
but
top of that, DC, what you were saying with Ronda Rousey coming over, like I really feel her bringing a lot of people over. Like
the one thing I don't want to see, I don't want to see people coming over from UFC for an easy paycheck in WWE. Because if you wrestle, if you've listened to our interview with BG the High Flyer, it's not easy at all. So don't come over here looking for an easy paycheck just because you're tired of fighting. You have to have the passion that Ronda Rousey brings.
It's so evident of how she presents herself and how much passion. And even when she was just getting ready for WrestleMania, I know that they make these promos up and they really have good camera work. But if you see a video of her training for the WrestleMania moment, she destroyed her training. Like she killed it.
Bill.
Well, I missed it. What was that? Yeah.
The NWO's returning soon. It is tough. You guys heard the Hulk Hogan talk coming back? How you guys feel? That's something you guys discussed yet?
We haven't really talked about it.
I'll tell you right now, a lot of the universe is split. I've been putting myself in, when you put like a little period in like the comments and make sure you get all the feedback, and it's really like
it's split 50-50.
But like it's like you're either all in or you're not. There's no like in between. It's like he did it, he said that, but it's okay. It's like no, you messed up, you're out.
But that's the thing. I think if wrestling fans, remember that more than anything. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel in WWE doesn't normally really act upon wrestling fans. They act more like I don't want to say they don't, because obviously they do, but they hear the wrestling fans. They don't like to give them what they want. We all know that. But I feel like they care so much about the public fans and trying to draw them in.
Right.
So it's almost like I don't think the public knows so much of what Hulk Hogan really said. Like obviously there's a piece of people, there's a piece of the public that know what Hulk Hogan's going through right now. But other than wrestling fans and that little piece I was telling you about, there's not a lot of people that know about what Hulk Hogan did and what he said and even his tape.
I think Hulk Hogan the wrestler is something to get excited about. You have to separate them.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan the wrestler, exciting. You want to see that.
I'd rather see Hulk than Punk.
Hulk the person, you don't want to kind of be anywhere like associated with Hulk the person. But the wrestler, there's no denying everything that he did in the WWE. Take his personal life out of it, was great. Right. Hulk Hogan the person is a completely different story, and I could see, and I understand. I agree with a lot of people. You can't bring that around. Like,
I agree.
I mean, you'll have to listen to.
What kind of role does he get though? What could he do right now to better the company? Does the company need him, or does he need the company?
I think that he needs the company.
Honestly, I don't think neither of them need each other. I think Hulk's good. He just settled on like $120 million lawsuit. WWE
they've been fine.
Yeah, they've been doing really well. But I think on a one-off where he comes out, Monday Night Raw was in Miami. A lot of speculation. Hulk Hogan returns here and there, and I'm watching the show. I'm tweeting it out, and I'm like, where can I put Hulk Hogan in this show? And the only thing that dawned on me was Brock Lesnar's not coming out. Hulk, the real American wrestler, comes out and he's like, you got to get your ass out there. Like, that's the only, and that doesn't even sound right. But, like, that's the only way I could fit Hulk Hogan in there. And he has to go with the big names. You have to put him with a Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles because it's just fitting that he needs to be in topic with a champion. Can't just have him go over with a Kurt Angle because I'd much rather see Triple H fight Kurt Angle than Hulk Hogan fight Kurt Angle.
Right. I mean, maybe you'll just have to keep watching the podcast. Look out for BA's rumor mill to find out.
Yes.
Maybe he'll have a scoop soon on what they will do with Hulk Hogan.
BA to be JL's rumor mill.
So just gonna wrap it up here. Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. Now, this time. To end off this show, one thing that I want to do is I want to have Johnny kind of go over his what the hell am I looking for? his tags. Jesus.
Yeah.
Shout yourself out. Get these people to follow him. Just so you know, coming up ahead, Johnny Lopes is working on a special project. I won't get into it. I'm going to let him get into it. So please take the floor.
Just another fun podcast just like this. So much more about Fall River streets, what goes down here in Fall River. More MMA, a little more wrestling in there too. Everything's going to be really talked about, but it's mainly going to be pushing the local scene of Fall River. Not so much sports, but more what goes on. A lot of funny stuff. I'm going to be interviewing people in Fall River, be talking to fighters, comedians, like business owners, restaurant, it's all coming to my crib. I'm going to interview them all, talk to them all. You guys get all the cool questions out there. It's not going to be live. It is going to be like a web show more than a podcast, but it's going to be cool. It's going to be fun.
Where are they going to be able to find this?
I mean, I'll get it out to you. I'm sure these guys are going to help it out. It's going to take some time. Hopefully it gets done within the next couple, 2-3 months. I want to say before the end of the year.
Perfect.
For sure. And I'm pretty sure you got to hear about it because it's definitely going to piss some people off. I will be trying. That's the objective. The objective is to not to annoy people, not to be a type of person where people don't like, but to give them a reason not to like me.
Done and done.
And yeah, and then that's going to be one of those things. And I'm not trying to get people not to like me.
Right.
But
Just going to keep it real.
to keep it real, exactly.
Yeah,
Just keep it real and just really put my opinion out there and share others' opinions, and exactly that. It's definitely going to piss off a lot of people.
And if you want to, and now if certain people want to reach out to you, give you maybe a topic or idea or just try to show, how do they get you?
I'm not a hard person to get in touch with. Obviously, it's my Facebook. I'm tagged on this, but you can get at me on Twitter and Instagram. Johnny Lopes, really easy to find me. I'll also be on Twitch, twitch.tv/sipondiz for anybody who knows my gaming channel and all that stuff. And of course, you gotta go to my YouTube. A lot of funny videos there. It's gonna be almost like what would be on my show. A lot of the videos you see on my YouTube would be like segments on my show. Really what I want to do. Go check out my YouTube page, youtube.com, users, Johnny Lopes, check them all out. Check out the Entourage shooting. Check out my MMA reactions. Go check out Anderson breaking his leg, and there's a lot of good videos up there. A couple of them pushing over 10K. I'm pretty proud of them numbers.
I'm happy for
great numbers.
And and a lot of things. Be pushing the Fall River fight scene too. That's another thing I want to do is
But you want to shout out?
Yeah, I want to shout out a couple of future guys coming out in Fall River. Guys like Aaron and Mitch Raposo, Aaron Hughes, Mitch Raposo. They're going to be fighting in a couple weeks for amateur belts. So you guys going to make sure you go check that out. Cage Titans, Plymouth Memorial Hall. That's Aaron Hughes and Mitch Raposo. I got a bunch of them there. I forgot where I put it. Look them up. Of course, Jorgen De Castro. We believe he's a light heavyweight. He's a bad boy. Coming right out of Fall River. Of course, Matty Franco, Brandon Rose, 2 young guys still coming out. And of course, my boy, Joshua Burge. Guys, make sure you look through all of them. Coming up, Fall River scene. Like the Fall River fight scene is good.
Surprisingly, yeah.
It's very, very surprisingly good. The guys that are coming out right now are insane. The guys that like the way they're evolving, how good they get. I swear, I wish I was 20 years old. Like, you know what I mean? Because the type of not just the talent that's out there, but the coaching that's out there. Gotta go to Regiment. Gotta go to Pro Fitness. Gotta go to these gyms. A lot of these gyms are incredible. The guys that can teach you out there. So that's gonna be stuff that I'm gonna be talking about. Timmy knows. Me and Timmy rolled a bunch of times. This guy's got the skills to build mills. You want to think that. Go to these gyms, check out these guys, look them up, follow them, follow Aaron, follow Mitch. They got 2 big fights coming up for amateur titles. Keep an eye on those guys. And
All right.
Thanks for them having me, man.
Thank you for being on the show.
Just a quick shout out and a quick reminder. My Fantasy Sports Talk, they always support us. They always share our stuff. Please check them out. They got tons of broadcasts going on every day. Our blog, everything's listed on the comment section on the description. Shout out to Twitter at 508. Geez, where am I at? 508 Talk. 508 Sports Talk. I messed that up a little bit. I don't have the sheet in front of me. 508 Sports Talk. Get all your fantasy football needs right from them guys. They will be raffling off a jersey sign. So make sure you jump on that and retweet and follow them. As for us, we are out of here, but make sure you catch Insider BA and Macho Man Matty Savage here tomorrow. They're going to wrap up Monday, Tuesday night wrestling right here in the studio, right here, man.
It's getting dark on Columbia Street. We
We gotta go. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate y'all.